If there was one word to describe Kody's relationship with his children and his wives, it would be simply this: inconvenience. Hi, I'm James, and this is my take on reality. In this episode, we're going to explore the annoying thing that Kody always seems to say about his wife and his children when he's talking to his little confessionals and he's talking to the producers during the Sister Wives episodes. Now, before we get started, I would ask that if you get anything from the channel, you enjoy the content, that you consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. It helps me out. And hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? So give me the HBO special, hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks. Let's get it. There's a lot of things that I just don't like about how Kody deals with his children, how he talks to his children, and how he associates with the wives on many different levels. But one of my biggest pet peeves as I watch the Sister Wives episodes is always when he says, it's really two things. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. It's really two things. The first thing he always says is, I had no idea. I had no idea. Why would that happen? I had no idea. And these women have consistently been trying to talk to him and tell him, like, hey, this is what's going on with me. Hey, this is what I want to do. Hey, this is what is about to happen. Hey, what should we do? And he always push it off, ignore it, has nothing to do with it. And then all of a sudden, they make a decision and he says, I had no idea. I mean, they're going to make decisions for me. And then all of a sudden, I'm inconvenienced. Right? And that annoys the hell out of me. I can't tell you how annoying that is. Every time he says that, it burns me up. It burns me up. Then when he talks about the children, like, oh yeah, the mothers, they don't make it convenient for me to go see them. They don't make it convenient. They don't ever take me into consideration when they're dealing with them. Dude, they have to work around your schedule. It's your schedule. When Christine was in a different state, seeing her child and making sure that, like, her grandchild was born safely. She went to go be with her daughter who was in labor. Kody, on the little meeting call that he was having with the family, like he's some kind of CEO or something, some broke-ass CEO, he's sitting in the room with Robyn talking about, oh, Christine, I don't understand why you can't call to make sure that my soon-to-be adult child, Isabel, and my adult child, Gwendolyn, set up their COVID tests so I can go over and see them. I don't understand why you can't do that. Because apparently Kody is way too busy. And why can't you have Robyn call? You guys are in the same house. She knows your schedule better than anybody else. She could call and set the appointments up for them to be able to get their stuff done so you could go over and see them, because she knows when you will be available to go over and see them, because that's where you choose to stay. But no. Christine, it's on you to make it convenient for me. I tell you what, why don't you get the nanny that you hired for Robyn? Why don't she make the damn appointments? She knows your schedule probably better than Christine or the kids do. But everybody in this situation, and this is the thing that burns me up, everybody in this situation caters to this man, and you guys have created a monster by participating in this stuff. And I'm so glad, like, I see Meri kind of still catering. Robyn, she's going along with it because she's the cock of the walk, and she's getting everything that she wants. So between Robyn and Meri wants to get back into the fold, and she's so desperate to try to get back in good with Kody. She's just kind of doing whatever he wants her to do, smiling, shinning, grinning, tap dancing. The only thing she's not doing is putting on a little vest and playing a damn accordion or whatever, because she's willing to do whatever it takes. If he said go outside and go down the Coyote Pass, and while I'm shucking bark off trees, I want you to stand there and juggle chainsaws, Meri would do it, because that's where she is. But between Jannelle and Christine, they giving that pushback, and I'm here for it. I'm telling you, I'm riding with them. Christine, I'm all the way Team Christine right now, because when push them down the shelf, somebody got to give some pushback to this joker. Somebody has to hold him accountable. And if you're not going to hold him accountable for you, hold him accountable for your kids. When he sits there and says that he don't have time to go over there and see him, stand up and say something, because as parents, it's on us to be the vanguard vanguards and the protectors of our children. It's on us to make sure that everybody treats them fairly and they treat them right. I'm not saying you have to bend over backwards and do everything in the world for them. That's not fair. That's not going to help them. That's not going to help you. And that's not going to help y'all relationship. But at the same time, what you're not going to do is disrespect my kids. That's what we're not going to do. And I'm very excited, and it puts a smile on my face when I see Christine take that role. And even when Jannelle, Kody said that it was inconvenient for him because even though he spends all his time over at Robyn's house, if he ever wants to kind of cruise through Jannelle's house, they all had to stay in the house and stay isolated. The kids, the two young men who stay there, his two sons, they couldn't go out, see their friends. They couldn't work, and they couldn't do a lot of things just in case Kody wanted to come by the house on some rando ass day. And Jannelle stood up and said, no, we're not doing that. And if it's a choice between you and my kids, I'm choosing my kids all day. And I respect that. I respect that. Because that's where your priority should be. Because especially if your husband, your paramour, in this case, really your boyfriend, isn't going to treat you right, then you don't sacrifice your relationship with your kids. You don't endanger your kids so that you can make him happy. That's ridiculous. And if you are a type of man, and I say use the term man very, very loosely in this situation. If you're the type of man who would ask the mother of your children to sacrifice her relationship with her children so that it's in your convenience and things are easier for you, then you, sir, are less than dirt. Period. You don't deserve to reach not only the moniker of man, but you damn sure don't deserve to reach the moniker of being called a father. Because that's not what fathers do. Fathers are there to protect and provide for their children. They're there to guide their children. They're there to help their children. And if Kody doesn't want to take the time that's required for him to spend with his kids and make sure that they're okay, then it's Kody's failure. It's not the kids' failure, and it's not the wives' failure. Kody also said that the wives, they have access to the kids, and therefore they go in and they start to poison the children and turn them against them and make them feel bad and make them hate him and make them go against him. No, bruh, it's not the wives. It's the fact that I'm not going to say that Kody doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't love his kids. But what I will say is, regardless of whether you care about them or not, regardless of how much you love them, if you aren't investing the time into them and you aren't spending that time with them, it doesn't matter how you feel at home. And just like he would say to them, deserves got nothing to do with it. You might say, if you were Kody, that I deserve to be treated a certain way. I'm their father. I deserve respect. At the end of the day, in the real world, as you, Kody, have told your kids many a time, you told the wives many a time, you have to live with your choices. Kody has to live with his choices. You chose to spend all your time at Robyn's house with Robyn's kids, then guess what happens, baby? Then Robyn's kids are going to give you that respect. They're going to give you that love. They're going to give you that energy because that's where you invested your time. At the same time, if you neglected Christine's kids, Jannelle's kids, and Meri's child, then they're not going to give you that respect. That's because you didn't invest that time in them. And this is for anybody in a like situation who thinks that, oh, well, the baby's mom, I'm the non-custodial parent, so the baby's mom or the baby's father, my ex-husband, my ex-wife, have to make it convenient for me to be able to spend time with my kids. The truth of the matter is, children in and of themselves are an inconvenience. It's crazy as hell to say, and it sounds kind of rude, and I get that. But if we're going to be honest, as a person who's raised children, I am telling you that children are an inconvenience. Now, they're a lovely inconvenience. They're wonderful to have, and I wouldn't change that or trade that experience for anything. But understand, there are times when you have opportunities, whether it's work or pleasure or whatever the case may be, that you can't take advantage of because you have responsibilities. There are times when you want to go out or you want to stay out or you want to go here or there with this person, that person, and you can't because you have to be home or you have to do kids the next day. So you got to take your ass home when it's time to go home. That's what the gig is. The point is you have responsibilities. And when it comes to the non-custodial parents, I will say this. for Christine, Jannelle, even in Meri's case, even though her child is older, Robyn, you should always, as the custodial parent, you should always encourage contact with the other parent. That's because that, even though your relationship may have fallen apart with this person, Kody or whoever, even though Kody and Christine, even though that relationship is falling apart, at the end of the day, the children don't see it that way. If Kody was mistreating Christine, but he treated Isabel special, which he didn't, and she even said that. But if he did, and they had a special bond and they had a special relationship, then you don't discourage that relationship. The only time you should stand in the way of another parent having access and being able to contact the children is if the other parent is a danger to the children. If it's just something where you just don't like them because they're kind of a jerk, Kody, then that's just the person that you made a child with, and you gotta deal with that situation. But at the same time, I'm not going to stand here and say that Christine should be bending over backwards to accommodate Kody, because that's ridiculous. I'm not going to stand here and say that because Cody's a man and he's a non-custodial parent and he's trying to be involved with his children, that she should give him 50-50 custody. That's ridiculous. As Christine said, the whole time they were there, you weren't interested in 50-50 custody. Now all of a sudden, because she's talking about leaving, you want to see a kid all the time? Your kid is down the street now. Go down the street now and go see him. If you're that worried about seeing your child and having a relationship with him, go spend time with her now. Don't wait for your relationship to fall apart and her to move, and then all of a sudden, you got to put him on a plane. Because then it's not about you seeing your child. It's about you trying to inconvenience her, which says a lot more about you, because what it comes down to is you realize that for you, Kody, that you're miserable when you're inconvenienced. So what you try to do is you try to make the other parent inconvenienced, so that way they suffer too. That doesn't mean that you love your child. That just means that you're an immature person. This is my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like I